Hi, my name is Luis Rivas, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing an individual by the name of Jesus Ramirez. And he is an individual of the age of 65, and he has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease since the age of 62. Now, Mr. Ramirez was very kind of letting us interview him. However, with the answers he was giving me, they were not very descriptive and very lengthy, but they did answer them, and they also were the answers were good enough for me to understand his background and understand what he is going through and his whole perspective of things. First question was, what are some of your daily struggles? Mr. Ramirez answered that some of his daily struggles were simply being able to do all the daily activities that he did back in the day without the help of anyone else. For example, brushing his teeth, tying his shoes, putting on his pants, shirt, etc. Due to the tremors that he has, and although he is taking medications for it and everything, Mr. Ramirez did mention that the struggles of being able to enjoy a meal or a drink as well has been a problem for him since he has been diagnosed with this, since the symptoms started getting really bad. Next question was, how has this affected your family? Mr. Ramirez answered that it affected him in the sense that now he has a disease that he has to deal with on a daily basis, something that is going to be affecting him for the rest of his life. And although there's treatments and medications that he is taking for it, he still believes that even though those are given to him, he still is going to have to struggle and work really hard to be able to live a close to normal life. And also, he said that his family, although it has brought a big, he said, burden to them, because now they have to help him out. He has to go around the house asking for help, or his wife has to come around and do things that she would usually wouldn't. Take away time from her day, and he mentioned that although this has been a negative thing, the positive is that it has brought them together closer, because now the family all respect him and take care of him a little bit more because of his current disease and conditions. Next question was, how have you learned to cope with the disease? Mr. Ramirez mentioned that he rather has not coped with it. He has learned how to work around it. He's learned how to manage things by his own without having to depend on others, or without having to always go to medications to lessen his tremors. He used to try to find other ways. His meditation, he said, was one of his favorite ways to cope with it, to work around it as well. Next question was, how have you gone about treating the disease? And he mentioned that, of course, he was taking the medications that his physician prescribed him. He has also been going to therapies. He's also done, as mentioned earlier, meditations at home for whenever his tremors are bad. He, uses medication as a form of relaxations, and he says that it has improved on the tremors, the shakiness, and he's also done herbal remedies from home, such as teas that he mixes and drinks. I asked him what were some early symptoms that him or his family members started noticing. He answered that at first, of course, the tremors. The tremors was one of the first symptoms that he started noticing. That his hands started shaking randomly, not for long periods of times, but it was short periods of times and minor tremors. But as time progressed, it got worse. Also, he started noticing his voice was starting to become very shaky. Every time he talked, he sounded shakier and shakier, like as if he was shy or scared to speak in public. As mentioned earlier, Mr. Ramirez was a very minimal speaker. He did not give very broad answers. But however, he did give me the opportunity to get a good interview and a good conversation with him. I did mention to him about the hand steady cup and the spoon, and he thought they were pretty cool, and that he was going to look into them. So it was a successful interview, and I thought it was good way for me to learn about somebody who actually is diagnosed with it and know more of their personal aspect of their situation.